Hey gang, Bushcraft Woods Devil here. Today I am at Mission La Purisima in Lompoc, California, and they're having Mission Life Day. So this mission here is actually the second one that was built. The original one, it was founded in 1787. And they built one, and then it was destroyed by an earthquake in 1812. So construction started here in 1813, and they wrapped it up in 1820. And at its height, there were about 1,000 people living and working here, and all of them, except for just a very small handful, were native indigenous peoples. Almost certainly the Chumash people. I'm sure of that. This is an interesting room right here. This is the soldier's apartment. So there was a married soldier lived back in here. And this was his quarters. So he only had a small escort, the escolte, which was probably like 3 soldiers to pretty much provide security and law enforcement. If there was a bigger problem, they would send word to the Presidio, probably like Los Angeles or Monterey, and help would be sent. Now over here, they have a mountain man encampment, and these gentlemen are members of the American Mountain Men. It's a fraternal organization, and you have to go through different kinds of levels of participation to move up through their ranks. But they're very serious about their reenactment. You have to master certain skills to belong to the organization, and they have like primitive, here's a little plow point shelter that one of these gentlemen probably spent the night in. They're almost certainly spent the night out here camped. A lot of different firearms. Here you can see these are flintlocks, rock locks. Percussion guns probably were around towards the end of the fur trade era, but most of these guys did not have a lot of money, and they were buying basically the same trade gun that the Indians were trading pelts for. There's your traps over there, and then over here you've got another camp. So these guys operated in brigades. They were basically a factory, so you had trappers who would go out and do the trapping in small groups, and then there was a main camp where people caring for the plues, and cooks and hunters that hunted the food. If you ever watched The Revenant, you've seen Leonardo DiCaprio's out hunting. He's a hunter for the brigade, and you'll see guys that were caring for the plues, for the beaver pelts. So it was quite an organization. What killed the fur trade was the silk hat. Beaver felt hats fell out of favor, and they went to silk, became the fashion. Campfire ring here, and they've been cooking up some different bits of food. Quite a long structure, typical of how they built these long rooms. Some of them are interconnecting, others you just have to go out and go in the next door down, but just one long continuous structure. So now probably the only people in here were the Europeans, which there was just a handful, and then there probably would have been, like somewhere out here, I'm not sure where, there would have been a vast native village of Wickiups. And those people would have come to work every day. I think this is a room. No, this is another room. What's this one? This is the corporal's apartment. The highest ranking officer at the mission received orders from the Presidio in Santa Barbara. Oh, okay, so the Santa Barbara had a Presidio. I don't remember hearing that, but there's a baby bassinet in there. This appears to be a little stove place to build a small fire and make something. Back here they're serving tortillas and bread that's been baked in the horno. So there's the horno. And basically they'd build a fire in that. Well, let's see, where's the other one? We can go down here and take a look. Yeah, well, see, it has an opening on the front. And they'd build a fire in that, heat it up, then sweep out all the cinders, and then close it up. And then they would kind of have an idea of the time to bake the bread, and then take it out, finish it. Or you could slow cook meat. So very primitive way of cooking. Kind of like a, it's an oven. It's an oven. And let's see. Really rough, primitive floors. Out here. And we got a whole other section of the church over here. We'll come over here and take a look at this.
They pipe water.
This says Quartel. This is probably the jail. Let's take a look. Yep. So this is where the soldiers, the single soldiers, were quartered. This is their quarters. Look at that. We got stocks here for miscreants, so they can be supervised. Some leg restraints. This is probably a room where a stable for keeping the horses. The horses were extremely valuable and had to be guarded. Now you might think it's hard to get a horse in and out of such a small door, but you got to remember they're riding Andalusians, which are small Spanish ponies, not like an American Morgan horse. Got the leather shields they would use to deflect arrows. Every man has his station with his cartridge box. Lances back here. They're pretty formidable on horseback. Native people didn't have horses, so you could run them down, and you were quite a machine on horseback. Dining table. Military regulations on the wall. Got a soldado here with his carbine. Yes, very neat. Look at this. Beautiful shield. Nice piece of work. Let's see what else we got around here. Not sure about this building. It doesn't appear to be open. Tell you what, I'm going to turn this off and then we'll shoot another piece perhaps.